Forget Market. The delightful ambience of people's chatter and gentle caress of the breeze entwined with the aromatic essence of blooming plants bestow a moist and revitalizing allure to the atmosphere. The last time you and Vin came to the Forget Market was for his affluent night. But then you were both worried about the affluent night and got caught in the rain, so you couldn't help but feeling a little overwhelmed when you were here. This time, you've come to the market empty-handed and completely relaxed. You wander around with a sense of familiarity. Why do I feel like the market is a little different than the last time we came?
자리가 좀 바뀐 것 같아요. 아무래도 대부분이 노점이니까요.
Vin hits the nail on the head. Just as he said, the layout of the vendors has changed. The space feels more organized than before. Wow, you've got sharp eyes. It's been a while since we came here, but you could tell right away.
아, 저쪽으로 가볼까요?
Sure. The warm sunlight showers generously down on you. It's as if you are roaming through a world where everything is made of gold. Golden light and shadows weave through your steps, and you suddenly realize this area seems familiar. Hey, isn't this?
저번에 우리가 왔던 옷가게네요.
While strolling around, you ended up back at the clothing store you visited last time to change your clothes after getting drenched. But what's more coincidental is that Vin is wearing the same outfit he brought at this store that day. As you realize this, you ask Vin if he wants to go in and take a look. He happily agrees. Clothing shop. You walk into the clothing store to find it the same as you remember, except for the brilliant sunshine pouring in through the windows. The same vivid, brightly colored clothes are still here, and you two are the only customers in the store. It's just like last time.
그러게요.
Vin seems to understand the implied meaning behind your sentence. As he is about to comment more, the shop owner comes over to welcome you.
어서 오세요. 뭐 찾으시는... 두 분 왠지 낯이 익은데... 저희 가게에서 구매하신 옷이죠?
You'd assume that she remembered your faces, but it looks like she only remembers the clothes from her shop. Well, the clothes in her store are pretty distinctive.
단골이셨구나. 저희 가게는 단골 손님들이 많거든요. 마음에 드는 거 있는지 보시고 말씀하세요. 할인가에 드릴게요.
It's a tempting offer, but after looking around the store for a bit, you don't see anything that catches your eye. As you're about to leave, the shop owner comes over with a smile.
두 분 한번 이벤트에 참여해 보시겠어요?
He hands you a flyer. The Forget Market Challenge event.
봄날 장터 기억하시죠? 이번 출석 체크 이벤트는 봄날 장터의 후속 이벤트예요.
We caught goldfish together and got drenched in the rain last time. How could I forget?
장소와 출석 체크 관련 내용은 전단지에 적혀 있고 그 순서대로 방문하시면 서프라이즈 상품을 받으실 수 있어요. 신기한 경험도 하고 상품도 탈 수 있으니까 정말 좋은 기회죠.
새로운 고객들을 잡기 위한 마케팅인가 보네요. 이벤트에 참여하는 사람들이 보름달 시장을 돌아다니면서 시끌벅적한 분위기도 조성할 수 있고 불가피한 소비도 유도할 수 있죠.
Vin succinctly summarized the nature of the challenge event in just a few words. The smile of the shop owner's face grows brighter.
그러니까 서로에게 이득이라는 거죠. 여러분은 즐거움을, 저희는 매출을 얻게 되잖아요.
Then, what's the secret prize we get at the end? When dealing with this kind of flamboyant marketing tactic, it is essential to keep a cool head and think logically.
어,
The shop owner's smile freezes for a moment, and her eyes dart around a few times. Although you're not sure what is going on or what she has spotted, she suddenly looks determined.
상품이야 많죠. 두 분한테만 몰래 알려드리자면 저희 가게 할인 쿠폰도 있어요. 한 벌에 10%, 두 벌에 20% 이런 식으로 할인이 적용돼요.
I was going to consider participating if the prizes was good, but since it's only some coupons, I think I'll pass. After all, regardless of how attractive the coupons are, it might still be impossible for us to find a suitable piece of clothing in this store. Just as you're about to turn her down, Vin gently takes your hand in his.
재밌을 것 같은데 딱히 할 일도 없었으니 한번 해보는 건 어떨까요?
Judging by Vin's previous reaction, you assume he wasn't interested in this type of event. Hence, you weren't expecting him to take the initiative and suggest you give it a shot. As you look at Vin, you can't think of a reason to refuse. Sure,
그러면 참여하시는 거죠? 잘 됐네요. 저희 가게가 첫 번째 장소거든요.
before you can react, the shop owner's attitude immediately changes and she hurriedly invites you and Vin into the changing room. He hastily grabs clothes from the shelves without even looking at them while explaining the rules of the challenge event to you.
저희 가게 출석 체크 조건은 정해진 시간 안에 제가 건네드리는 옷을 최대한 많이 입어보시는 거예요. 한 세트 코디할 때마다 기념사진을 찍어야 하고 촬영한 사진이 일정 개수가 되면 출석 체크 성공인 거예요.
What a weird challenge. It looks like Vin hadn't anticipated the challenge the shop owner outlined. He wears a slightly surprised expression, then looks at you, smiling.
그럼 피팅은 제가 할 테니 코디는 당신에게 맡겨도 괜찮을까요?
You look at Vin's sincere expression, then turn your attention to the pile of colorful clothes in the shop owner's arm. You can't help feeling like you're being put on the spot. I'll do my best and try not to let you down.
괜찮아요. 최선을 다하면 돼요.
Vin caresses your forehead to comfort you, then walks into the changing room.
준비되셨나요?
Vin doesn't respond, but the rustling of fabric is a good enough answer. You take a deep breath, look at the shop owner, then slowly nod. Let's start.
시간 끝났어요.
Phew.
축하드려요. 통과하셨어요. 두 분 호흡이 잘 맞으시네요.
The shop owner absentmindedly compliments you and Vin as she looks through the pictures you two took.
그럼 성공한 건가요?
The intense dress-up challenge still leaves your adrenaline pumping. Even Vin still sounds slightly breathless, evoking some of the scenes from just now. That's a cute sweater with a little bear on it. While Vin is getting changed in the changing room, you are trying to put together another outfit from the pile of clothes given to you by the shop owner. A bright yellow sweater with a picture of a sleeping bear hugging a honey jar catches your attention. I've never seen Vin wear something like this before. Driven by some inexplicable goal, you find a pair of pants to match with the sweater and take them both into the changing room. You hear rustling sounds coming from the changing room again, and you can't help looking over expectantly. Vyn, are you done? Can I come in? After all, you'll need to take pictures of him with the outfits later to make sure everything looks perfect. You'll go into the changing room and make improvements to each of Vyn's outfits before he comes out. It's just as you thought, Vyn has a pale complexion, so even bright yellow looks great on him. Moreover, the cozy looking sweater matches some aspects of his personality, and the sleeping bear makes him look more innocent. Vin is not very used to wearing this style of clothing, and he adjusts his glasses warily. His cheeks are flushed, but it's unclear whether he's nervous or embarrassed. Maybe you shouldn't wear that one. You run out into the store and grab another shirt, handing it to Vin and leaving the changing room before he even has a chance to react.
응? 왜 그러죠?
All good. I think those pants I picked out don't match the sweater, so it would be better if you tried this shirt instead.
알겠어요. 이런 스타일은 잘 입지 않아서 별로일 거예요.
It will. We're running short on time, so you should get changed. After putting on a brave face to see that, you immediately put your hand to your chest, feeling your heart beating like a drum. He's so cute. Good thing I was the only one who saw Vin like that just now. As Vin is still smoothing out the wrinkles on his shirt, you take the bear sweater from the pile of clothes and pull the shop owner aside. After making sure she has another one in your size, you mention that you'd like to buy two of them after you finish the shop challenge. The shop owner is happy to oblige. You glance over at Vin who is looking down, then you move closer to her. Let's keep it a secret for now.
그럼요. 알죠. 서프라이즈잖아요.
She nods in understanding. Meanwhile, Vin comes out of the changing room. Vin, I've just confirmed that we've completed this challenge. Should we head to the next location?
네,
Vin takes your hand. Before you leave the shop owner reminds you from behind.
저희 가게가 분점이 여러 개 있거든요. 나중에 보시면 잊지 말고 꼭 들러주세요.
Is she hinting at something? If we run into another one later, I guess we should go in and take a look. With that, the shop owner waves goodbye. You don't give it another thought after leaving the store with Finn. Forget Market. Amidst the bustling street, the two of you glance at the addresses printed on the flyer and then look at one another. Vin, was there a special reason you wanted to take part in this challenge event? At a glance, you can tell that all of the locations listed on the flyer have high foot traffic. You can't help wondering if Vin is truly interested in visiting these places.
맞춰볼래요?
The sunshine is glaring, but it can't hold a candle to the glint in Vin's eyes. Looking at his fraction, you can't help but feel more excited for your next challenge. Looks like this challenge event is going to be more interesting than I thought. Forget Market. A soft breeze blows, tousling your hair while the crystalline sound of porcelain gently colliding fills the air. As the two of you follow the instructions on the flyer, you arrive in front of a vast store. Looks like this is the next challenge location.
규칙대로라면 이곳에서 DIY 꽃병을 만들어야 성공할 수 있어요.
The Forget Market was once a flower and bird market, so naturally vases are an indispensable product. In addition to selling vases of all kinds, this store allows customers to customize and decorate their own vase store. After heading into the shop and explaining the purpose of your visit to the shop owner, your first step is to select one style of vase to decorate out of the gorgeous options available. They're all so pretty, it's hard to make a choice. Porcelain vases of all shapes and colors sit quietly on the display in the window. You find them all so dazzling that it's tough to decide on one.
이건 어때요?
Vyn points to a simple white porcelain vase with a narrow neck and a matte finish.
기본적인 디자인이라 조금만 꾸며도 예쁠 거예요. 우리한테도 어렵지 않을 테고요.
Yeah, that's a good point. Let's do this one then. After selecting your vase, the shop owner helps you get the tools and pins you need. You then find two open seats and sit down. So, what should we paint? You pick up a paintbrush and dip it into the paint. You face the white porcelain vase, but you can't seem to put down the first stroke.
떠오르는 게 없다면 이야기하면서 영감을 찾아보는 건 어떨까요?
Vyn looks at you with a calm and collected demeanor. It seems like he already has an idea.
이를테면 이 꽃병에 어떤 꽃을 꽂아두고 싶은지 생각해보는 거죠.
Vyn draws you in with ease, and you can't help but go along with his line of questioning. What kind of flowers should I put in this vase?
아니면 이 꽃병을 집 어디에 두고 싶다든가요. 우선 장면을 상상해보면 자연스럽게 답을 찾을 수 있을 거예요.
Vyn's gaze is like bubbling, flowing water and rushing through your heart and cascading in a specific direction that is somehow unknown. Picture it in my head. As you hesitate, another breeze blows by. It carries a soft floral aroma, tickling your nose and revitalizing you. It smells like if love night. You recall the scene you saw with Vyn of the luminescent effluent night blooming, and idea suddenly pops into your head. Vyn, how about we use this vase to display the effluent nights? We can put it in the bedroom.
괜찮네요. 만개한 소당화를 놓아두면 침실 인테리어와도 잘 어울릴 거예요.
Vyn nods in agreement, seemingly satisfied with your answer. Why do I feel like I've fallen right into his trap? Could it be that he already had that idea in mind and was leading me in that direction? This man is seriously as adorable as ever. But you certainly can't let Vyn know your thoughts. You glance at him and he looks like he has no idea you've seen through his scheme.
이제 이 꽃병을 어떻게 꾸밀지 갈피가 잡혔나요?
Yeah, thank goodness you're here, but... Vyn picks up the brush. He looks up at you when he notices your sudden pause. How about we each pin one side? I can't be the only one falling into traps. I believe we have an unspoken understanding.
절 많이 믿나 보네요.
Nope, I have a lot of faith in us. As Vyn hears you emphasize the word us, he laughs, reaching out to brush the loose hair off your forehead.
그럼 시작할까요? 같이 완성할 꽃병이 기대되네요.
You aren't a professional by any means, so you try to be careful with every stroke for fear of ruining the entire art piece. At this very moment, you can only hear the sound of the paintbrush sweeping against the vase and the slow, soft breathing of the person next to you. When the paint on the vase gradually dries, various shades of green lines snake from the bottom of the vase up to the top like lush vines. I think that looks pretty good.
다 그렸나요?
You nod and rotate the vase to show him the portion you painted. You silently look at each other's paintings and burst into laughter at the same time.
당신의 신뢰를 저버리지 않았나 보네요.
Vyn didn't paint much. He only used a few strokes outlining the stems in an impressionistic style which just so happens to match the portion you painted. Even though the two of you didn't decide on anything in advance, you both chose to use green for the stems and leaves for the bouquet. What's more coincidental is that the green lines you painted are dense like the roots, while Vyn's green lines are deep green resembling the leaves. The two sides weave together, meeting at the mouth of the vase where there will be a cluster of blooming flowers. No one would ever be able to tell that we only rely on our intuition to paint this. Vyn glides his fingertips along the mouth of the vase. He then picks up a wet wipe and places it gently on the skin between your index finger and thumb. You hadn't realized that there was some dried pins there. Now that we're pretty much done with the challenge here, where to next?
우리가 갔던 그 꽃집이에요.
That flower shop is pretty far from here. After considering it for a moment, you realize that the even route doesn't make much sense. The point of this event is to attract customers, so why is the route so strange? It's almost as if it was designed to deliberately avoid something. What do you think, Vyn?
뭐라고요?
Perhaps because he's too focused on helping you clean the paint off your hand, Vyn doesn't seem to have heard what you said. Never mind, it's fine. I'm probably overthinking it. You shake your head to indicate that it was nothing. However, deep down you have an indistinct gut feeling. Is this challenge event really just a challenge event? Although the next location is a little far away, you arrive at your destination quickly since you've been there once before. As soon as you reach the entrance, you spot the pots of flat nights that caught your eye last time, neatly arranged by the door.
아, 또 오셨네요. 이번에는 출석 체크 이벤트 때문에 오신 거겠죠?
The owner pinpoints your reason for coming before you can say a word. She enthusiastically invites you into the store. Flower processing room. This shop's challenge is to help the owner wrap and sell the flowers. You need to sell a specified number of flowers to complete the challenge. You walk through the display area filled with bunches of fresh flowers before you finally arrive at the flower processing room in the back of the store. Miss, how did you know that we're here for the challenge? Before you get started, you ask the question that's been bugging you.
그게...
She wasn't expecting you to ask that question. Unlike the laid-back attitude she had just now, she seems to be slightly at a loss for words.
우리가 들고 있는 전단지를 보셨나 보네요.
Vyn's seemingly nonchalant remarks saved the owner.
네네. 전단지를 들고 출석 체크 이벤트 일로 오신 분들이 여럿 계셨거든요. 두 분도 전단지를 들고 계시길래 바로 알았죠. 또 두 분이랑은 전에도 뵀었잖아요. 야광 소당화를 들고 오시는 분은 잘 없어서 기억하고 있어요.
Oh, I see. You glance over at Vyn. His reaction is so normal that you can't help feeling like you're overthinking things.
그럼 바로 시작할까요? 일단 구체적으로 뭘 어떻게 해야 하는지 설명부터 드릴게요.
The owner eagerly changes the subject, not wanting to continue discussing that topic. Alright. Vin already knows a lot about gardening, so he gets it immediately after the owner explains briefly. And you, an amateur, are responsible for being his assistant. Vin, why does the flower I put here keep tilting? By the third time you adjust the unruly flower, you already feel slightly exasperated. You decide to speak up and ask Vin for help.
한번 볼게요.
As you're about to move away from your seat at the workbench, Vin moves behind you and holds your hands in his. Vin's warmth spreads from his chest to your back and surrounds you. You momentarily find yourself in a trance.
이렇게 하면요?
Vin's palms are warm, but his fingertips are cold. As they rub against the back of your hand, they resemble water droplets splashing onto your skin, leaving traces behind.
꽃이 이쪽에 치우쳐 있어서 삐뚤어지는 거예요.
Hmm?
왜요? 아직 잘 모르겠어요?
Perhaps he realized something, or maybe it shows on your face because Vin leans in closer. His breath caresses your earlobe. You can't help reaching up to gently rub your earlobe. It is only then you realize that Vin's staring at you with a slightly playful grin. You're just teasing me on purpose. You raise your arm as you try to wiggle out of his embrace, but he doesn't budge. Instead, he moves in closer to your ear.
제가 가르쳐 줄 때 먼저 딴 생각한 건 당신인걸요.
You're just like that saying. The guilty party files the suit.
잘못한 사람으로서 이런 보답을 받는 것도 나쁘진 않겠네요.
Vin leans in closer again, perhaps due to the fragrance filling the room, or maybe because of the sunlight shining on him through the glass. You touch your hot ear, forcing yourself to calm down and listen to his explanation.
8, 9, 10.
You two quickly reach the seal's target thanks to Vin's skill and serious teaching, along with your tacit teamwork. After the owner calculates the profits earned and checks the amount again, she enthusiastically walks you and Vin to the door.
축하드려요. 미션 성공이에요.
We would have been able to finish faster if it wasn't for... Recalling certain incidents that happened earlier, you can't stop yourself from looking at Vin. He is standing off to the side, calm and collected as usual. Vin wears a carefree expression and a gentle smile. The flower shop owner repeatedly thanks you too, and Vin tells her you are happy to help.
정말 수고 많으셨어요. 참, 그때 그 소당화는 꽃을 피웠나요?
네, 그때 아는 분을 소개해 주셔서 감사했어요.
Yeah, it bloomed beautifully.
다행이네요. 어려운 일도 아닌걸요 뭐.
The owner glances over at Vin with a meaningful smile.
남자분이 그렇게까지 신경 쓰시는데 좋은 결과가 있어야죠.
It seems like the owner is hinting at something, but she just waves her hand and points to your next location after she finishes speaking. Forget Market. We're down to just one last challenge to complete the event. Holding Vin's hand, you walk a few steps in front of him before turning to face him. The sun shining through the leaves casts a dappled pattern of shadow and light upon Vin, enveloping his entire person in a soft, gentle glow.
오늘 즐거웠나요?
Yeah, trying new things with you is really fun. He nods. It seems as if he wants to say something else, but the sound of birds chirping interrupts him.
마지막 목적지에 다 온 것 같네요.
But store. This shop is rather different from other pet bird stores. Instead of being kept in cages, the birds are hidden amidst lavish plants. Perhaps due to living in such a free environment, the sound of their chirping is gentle instead of being loud or shrill.
점장님한테 확인해보니 딱히 도울 일은 없고 구경도 하고 모이도 주면서 새들과 놀면 된다고 하시네요.
Wow, that's too easy. All of the previous places you visited had shop challenges, but the last location is the only one where you can finally relax and have some fun. You take some bird seed from Vyn and lightly scatter it around. A few birds quickly fly over, their songs crisp and pleasant. This parrot is so pretty.
그러게요. 말도 잘 듣네요.
When Vyn lifts up his hand, the parrot flies over obediently and lands on his palm. That parrot isn't afraid of people at all, just like the owner already recalled trained it.
호출 훈련을 알고 있나 보네요.
This is our second time at the Forget Market, so I pick up on some of the terminology. Recall training refers to the teaching parrots how to fly and land on one's hand when shown a specific gesture. But it usually takes quite a long time for a trainer to get familiar with the parrot and help it understand their intentions. This parrot may have prior training, but why did it fly straight to your hand the first time it saw you?
이것 때문이죠.
Vyn seems to have expected your question. He opens his slightly closed palm to reveal some birdseed in his hand.
방금 사장님한테서 받은 모이예요. 이 앵무새가 가장 좋아하는 거라더군요. 훈련시킬 때도 이걸로 유도하고 보상으로 썼다고 하셨어요.
Vyn was only gone for a moment, yet he already knew so much. As you watch the parrot hop around his palm, you are reminded of an interesting incident from earlier. You can't help but want to give it a try.
해보고 싶나요?
Yeah, it looks like a lot of fun. Vyn makes a slight movement with his hand, and the parrot on his palm flaps its wing and flies away. He pours out some birdseed from the bag into your palm. However, he notices that you are a little nervous, so he holds your hand gently.
왜 그러죠?
Its talons look a little sharp. Vyn wasn't expecting that answer. He chuckled softly.
걱정 말아요. 앵무새는 인간과 말이 통하는 동물이니까요. 호출 훈련에 성공하려면 앵무새가 당신을 온전히 믿어야 해요. 당신이 먼저 당황하면 앵무새도 불안해서 날아오지 않을 거예요.
Okay. The mention of its talons look sharp was just an offhand comment, but when Vyn stands behind you and lifts your hand, you slowly open your palm and reveal the birdseed to the parrot. Your heartbeat becomes faster. The parrot flutters its wing in the air, and its tail feathers throw a beautiful arc as it lands gently in your palm. Although the talons look sharp, they only tickle slightly when the parrot lands on your palm. This is in complete contrast with the strong beating of your heart as you watch it land. Vyn, look!
네, 잘하고 있어요.
He slowly removes his hand, letting you hold the lively parrot yourself.
이 녀석은 당신을 믿고 있어요. 제가 당신을 믿는 것처럼요.
The parrot's feathers shine with a dazzling brilliance under the sun. However, as you gaze into the bright, clear eyes of the person in front of you, you find yourself unable to look away. The birds are adorable and intelligent, and there are so many ways to play with them that time flies by in the blink of an eye. It isn't until the sun is setting that you realize it's already time to leave. Since there were no other requests at this stop, you have naturally completed the challenge. Forget market. You're somewhat reluctant to go as you walk out of the shop. Vyn can see right through you and takes your hand, slightly tickling your palm.
다음 휴가 때 또 보러 와요.
Yeah, right. The most important thing now is to figure out what the secret prize is. The sky is gradually dyed by the light of dusk, and even the distant mountains have taken on a reddish glow. The two of you walk back to the clothing store where you started from. Clothing shop. Why are there so many people? It's still bright out, and since you and Vin are heading back to the same way you came, you couldn't be going the wrong way. However, the scene before you still makes you wonder if you're in the right place. The clothing store, which was empty earlier, now has quite a few customers. It isn't exactly crowded, but the last two times you visited, you and Vin simply had the place to yourselves. Seeing such an increase in foot traffic is a bit surprising.
오셨어요? 즐거운 시간 보내셨나요?
The owner suddenly spots you and walks over from the store. Why is your store so crowded all of a sudden, miss?
에이, 갑자기라뇨. 그동안의 노력이 드디어 결실을 맺는 거죠.
You can't help looking at the extremely eye-catching clothes in the window, gaining a new appreciation of the concept that success comes from the accumulation of many small actions.
출석 체크를 다 끝내서요.
Vin speaks gently, skillfully steering the conversation back.
다 끝내셨다고요?
Her gaze moves back and forth between the two of you. You're unsure what she's thinking.
그럼 이제
서프라이즈 상품을 주셔야죠.
Yep, you've been acting mysterious this whole time, but you can finally tell us now.
서프라이즈는
She purposely draws out her speech, varying her tone of voice multiple times to build suspense.
바로 이거예요.
She pulls out a stack of coupons from behind her back and then hands them to you. You can tell right away that they are all coupons for different stores.
왜 그래요? 실망한 것 같은데요.
It isn't that, it's just throughout this entire process, you couldn't shake the feeling that Vin had something prepared for you. Several things happened along the way to fit your suspicion. So now that this adventure has already come to an end and nothing happened, you feel a little disappointed. I just remembered something. Wait for me here, Vin. I'll be right back. Looking at the coupons you're holding, you recall the two sweaters you set aside before and you disregard everything else. Regardless, I should go buy the sweaters first. It wouldn't be good if someone else gets their hands on them. To keep it a surprise for a bit, you find a random excuse before following the owner into the clothing store to pay for the sweaters. You come back out carrying the sweaters only to realize that Vin isn't where you left him. Huh? Where'd Vin go? Just as you're about to take out your phone to call him, the shop owner who is walking you out stops you.
저번에 같이 가신 호숫가 있잖아요. 거기서 기다리겠다고 하셨어요. 남자친구분이 이렇게 전하면 어딘지 알 거라고 하시더라고요.
Okay. You originally suspected Vin had something to do with the challenge event, but nothing happened just now. Just when you thought everything had already come to an end, Vin asked someone to pass on a message telling you that he'll be waiting at the lake you went to before. Just what is going on here? The inkling buried deep in your heart is like a seedling sprouting from the soil. It anticipates the imminent answer, bringing the rain ready to bloom and bear fruit. By the lake. The sky is growing darker, and with each step closer, the street lamps illuminate one by one. Their soft light echoes your gradually quickening heartbeat, ripe with excitement. Before reaching your final destination, you see a cluster of light in the distance, gently swaying in the wind. Is that light reflecting off the water? The thought dissipates as soon as it comes when you realize that it isn't quite right. But as soon as this idea pops into your head, you realize it isn't right. No, that's the light you see swaying with the wind isn't the water, but luminescent youthlet nights. A large field, a large field filled with countless youthlet nights glows with a dreamy light amidst the darkness. And Vin is standing among them, looking at you from the distance. He reaches out for you, and you can't help quickening your pace. Vin,
그 반응은 제가 준비한 서프라이즈가 마음에 들었다는 걸로 이해해도 될까요?
the breeze mixed with the floral fragrance amidst the silent night, enveloping Vin's voice and making it sound like an intoxicating wine. Yeah, I love it. It's so beautiful. After stepping back from Vin's embrace, you finally get the chance to admire the sea of flowers. Even though you've seen a luminescent eucalyptus in bloom at Vin's house before, this is the first time you've ever seen such a large number of them crowded together. What made you suddenly think of doing something like this?
갑작스럽지만은 않아요. 엉성한 부분이 많아서 당신도 눈치채고 있었을 거예요.
Yeah. From the clothing store owner's odd behavior at the beginning to the meaningful smile on the flower shop owner's face, as well as the strangely planned route and Vince's inexplicable familiarity with that parrot. This challenging event is carefully planned by Vin. This thought has been swirling around in your mind all day. But I thought I was overthinking everything when the clothing store owner gave me the coupons just now.
그래야 더 큰 서프라이즈로 느껴질 테니까요. 안 그랬더라면 전부 들켰겠죠. 그러면 좌절했을지도 모르겠네요.
Vincent's little challenge when he sees this, his eyes sparkling. Seeing this, you can't stop yourself from wanting to tease him. Then, what would you have done if I hadn't left the clothing store earlier?
실은 옷가게 사장님한테 당신을 다른 곳으로 보낼 핑곗거리를 준비해달라고도 부탁해뒀어요.
I knew it. You were all working together. Thinking back on everything you experienced today and looking at Vince's relaxed smile, you can't help but think of the effort he had put in. Vin planned everything so meticulously today. He must have made so many preparations in advance. I don't even know how he got those stars to go along with his plan. As you consider this, your heart grows softer and softer. You can't resist hugging Vin. Your ear rests over his heart, which thumps in rhythm with your breathing. Every moment of silence is filled by your equally steady heartbeat. For a moment, it's as if the two of you have become one. Vin, you're so amazing. Words alone can't express the fluctuating emotions you feel in your heart. You can only hope to communicate how you feel with a tighter, deeper embrace.
당신을 즐겁게 할 수만 있다면 얼마든지요. 서프라이즈든 아름다운 추억이든 늘 당신에게 더 많은 걸 주고 싶어요. 그리고 당신도 절 위해 선물을 준비했잖아요.
His gaze shifts to the fact holding the two sweaters in your hands. It's too late for you to hide them now, even if you wanted to. This, this is...
제가 착각한 건가요? 제 선물이 아니었나요?
The brightness in his eyes dimmed suddenly. He tried his best to hide his sadness, causing your sudden panic. No, no, it's for you. I bought one for myself too, so we can wear matching outfits later. Confessing your feelings like this to Vyn suddenly shouldn't be a big deal, but you ring your fingers together nervously. He gently spreads your hand apart, weaving and interlocking his fingers between yours.
제 선물인 거 알고 있었어요.
His somewhat disappointed expression from just now disappears in an instant. It is replaced by a confident and determined smile. Vyn, you knew, but you still wanted to tease me. You pretend to struggle, but Vyn tightens his arms and hugs you tighter.
당신한테서 직접 듣고 싶었어요.
What?
같이 커플룩을 입고 싶다고. 저한테 소유욕을 느낀다는 말을 직접 듣고 싶었어요.
Forget about that first part. As for the second part, how did you come to that conclusion?
커플 아이템은 누군가의 사람이라는 걸 알리기 위해서잖아요. 사람들 사이에서 옆에 있는 사람과 같은 옷을 입는 건 그에 대한 소유권을 주장하기 위해서죠. 그런 생각으로 옷을 산 게 아닌가요?
I... He looks at you, waiting for your answer. Seeing the smile on his lips, you can't hide your true intentions. Vyn's gaze becomes sincerity, compelling you to unveil the question burning within, yearning for the answer you seek. Then, are you willing to?
그럼요. 당연하죠. 기꺼이 받아들일 거예요.
It was a vague question, but Vyn answers you seriously as if he's taking an oath. The lingering scent of eucalypt nights mixed with Vyn's breathing, making it hard to look away. Great, that's great. You stand on your tiptoes, uttering words that don't make sense, nearly concerned with closing the gap between you two. The so-called act of claiming someone as your own works better when accomplished with your own hands. Only the sound of intertwined air can be heard amidst the night, whether it's the breeze or someone's breathing.